Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and over the course of the holiday weekend, there was a lot of Star Wars articles, some good, some bad, but one that stuck out to me was this big push from the movie bloggers out there to say that with The Last Jedi crossing $1 billion, the Star Wars franchise underneath Disney has now eclipsed the original asking price that Bob Iger paid George Lucas back in 2012 for Lucasfilm, Skywalker Sound, Industrial Light and Magic, and everything under those umbrellas. It was to a tune of 4.06 billion. I've heard 4.08. Maybe I was just wrong. It's off by like a fair amount, a couple $1 million, but still, it's a lot of money, But that being said, it's true. Disney has now, with the crossing over of $1 billion on The Last Jedi, hit 4 billion, 4.06 billion, eclipsing what they paid for. Now, I find the articles to be funny simply because that's the overall ticket box office, return for these three movies, Force Awakens, Rogue One, and now Last Jedi. But that's not even remotely considering the payout to the theaters and the split internationally and the cost of the production. So really, it's their box office totals have pulled in this kind of money, but the company itself hasn't profited that much from these directly, right? From these directly. And I'm pretty sure like I could go through the math on Box Office Mojo and look at the home video sales and compile how much that is, but ultimately it's not going to matter. The movies have maybe not turned 100% profit for Disney just yet, but they're clearly on their way. I mean, not only that, but Disney did what Disney always does. And I fell for this hook, line, and sinker. I'm not going to lie. Disney likes to market. They love to merchandise, and that's what they did when they got Star Wars. Do you see that Millennium Falcon rug on my wall? $50 at Comic-Con, right? Yeah, I have a rug of the Millennium Falcon on my wall, and I'm okay with that. Because right next to it, you can see I've got the wooden wall art for all the Star Wars movies. I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt. You can kind of see where this is going. A couple things. One, my family knows I like Star Wars, and so when they're kind of flummoxed on what to get me for Christmas or my birthday, they pretty much just default to that. So that's why I get a lot of Star Wars. I'm not complaining. I love the stuff. But, even for Christmas this year, I got a Star Wars calendar, I got a Darth Vader Black Series statue, which I got to put up, and I got like a little Star Wars footstool. Seriously. So the point is that they know how to market their merchandising. And so the merchandising has probably turned a fair amount of money. And I would say maybe with the merchandising that has put them over that particular amount of money. I do remember Cars, for example. Cars came out in 2006. People were kind of like talking lots of crap about that movie, it being just a remake of Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox. I mean, beat for beat, it's the same freaking movie. But the merchandising on the film was like $3 billion, right? So they did Cars 2. Why? Because of merchandising. Yogurt and Spaceballs was right. Merchandising. And that's how they did it. And that also spawned off Planes and Planes 2. Thankfully, no Planes 3 because the second one was bad enough. But then we got Cars 3 as a hope of trying to rekindle that merchandising flame. This is what Disney's good at. Now, Bob Iger did a good job by buying this up. Whereas I've had creative problems with The Last Jedi, far more than the last two entries, I will say that Star Wars Rebels is a fantastic show that has done quite a bit to really kind of expand out the lore surrounding the episodes. They've done the books are good. They've done a lot of stuff to really kind of beef up Star Wars as a whole, and that is to me a good thing. A very, very, very good thing. I just have to kind of laugh at the damage control that's coming from these movie bloggers, because that's a lot of what I'm seeing at this point. I'm just seeing the damage control. It's Star Wars The Last Jedi, #1, 3 weeks in a row, $52 million this past weekend. Hey, good for it. No, good for it. But Jumanji in its opening weekend, or opening or second weekend, was really getting kind of close to it, was really inching up on it. And it's probably going to overtake Star Wars next weekend. And that is something that's not going to work very well for Disney. I mean, oh yeah, they've made their money, but they want more money, right? They wanted Last Jedi to pull in $2 billion like Force Awakens. And all things considered, If it just would have been like an Empire Strikes Back knockoff the way that The Force Awakens was of A New Hope, they probably would have done it. But there has been a big backlash from this, and there's been a big pushback from the fans, and that is showing an impact on the box office. While it's still number one, it's not doing as well as it could. And while ultimately Disney will come out on top with this film, as well as any other film they put out, including Solo, get ready to watch them this weekend. Start pushing for massive, massive, massive social media pushes on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram and other places in order to try to get people to go back to the theater to watch The Last Jedi once again. They're already teasing Solo stuff. They're teasing Solo stuff now in order to reinvigorate interest in The Last Jedi, because they're going to drop a trailer for Solo probably maybe Super Bowl. Somewhere around that time. There's already little things that are coming out. Ron Howard's posting some BTS stuff to keep interest in this project alive until they're able to get as much out of it as they can. It's a very interesting thing to watch. It really is. It's very interesting to watch play out. Like I've said, this is a good move for Disney to purchase it. They are good at world building. They followed the Marvel plan. The downside of that, though, is that Marvel has a huge variety of stories to pull from, characters to pull from. And while Star Wars does have that too, they're kind of left over there in the EU. And a lot of people aren't very happy about the EU kind of being jettisoned. Now they're calling it Star Wars Legacy, right? They're calling it Star Wars Legacy as being this like, it's originals, but it's not connected anymore, right? Even though they're kind of still cherry picking little things, Thrawn, you know, so on and so forth. And so that's where they're going to eventually go. They're going to eventually do this like Marvel did. I think they're eventually going to replace Kathleen Kennedy, and I've been talking about that. They're going to bring someone else in who's very similar to Kevin Feige, probably somebody from Marvel who has worked directly under Feige, who knows how he thinks. And since Feige is a goose that keeps laying the golden eggs, they're going to put that person in charge. And then going forward, post probably episode 9, we're going to see Star Wars, but the MCU version of Star Wars. And so yes, that $4.06 billion price tag that Disney paid for Star Wars is going to be eclipsed by the amount of money that it earns over the span of the next 10 years. We are 10 years into the MCU. And Infinity War is going to dominate the box office. It's going to suffocate everything in May, probably including Han Solo, which is another reason why they're getting ready to write it off, because their own movie is going to kill their other big movie coming out Memorial Day weekend. And that's going to be very interesting to watch when that thing goes down. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think that Disney got their money's worth for this? Do you think that that they've just screwed the whole thing up? And if you could fix it, if you think they've screwed up, how would you fix it? I am curious to know these things. Let me know in the comments below. My name, of course, is Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, check back often for more content from me. And if you want to see more content from me, you can do so right now.